All right. I'm going to start this video off by just asking for general grace in situations like this, right? A brother is tired. And what I mean by that is, if you don't know, and I've never really even thought about it, but there are people who might just follow me for the cast burner, don't know that I cover the Browns, even though it's what I'm more known for is my coverage on the Browns. I cover the Browns. And when the Cavs play on Sunday and the Browns play on Sunday, it's tough because, usually Cavs play at 6, the Browns play at 1. You can do it, but it's tough, and if you don't know, I'll take you guys behind the curtain real quick on just what my operating schedule is. So on my football channel, my Browns channel, I upload 3 videos a day during Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Those videos release at 6 a.m., noon, and 5 p.m. on most cases. And then Friday, 2 videos, Saturday, 2 videos, Sunday, there is a pregame video, a live stream, and then a postgame video. So 3 uploads there as well. What this means is that for Sundays, I have to do the live stream, the post-game show for Bleacher Report, the post-game show for my channel. And then on Monday, not Monday, that same day, Sunday, I have to make the Monday morning video and the Monday afternoon video. So there's a lot on my plate for the Browns. And then when I'm done with all of that, I get to the Cavs. Now, when the Browns play at 1 o'clock, they're done at like 4. I get done with like the post-game video, and then I can work into the other stuff. I can usually get out around 6-ish and then just catch up with the game. From there, post a video about the Cavs after the game, and it'll be on time. This situation where they basically played at the same time, very difficult. Obviously, it was a very eventful Browns game because it was even referenced throughout the Cavs broadcast what was going on. So, I'm getting to this late. I apologize. It's already tough. I can't do the Saturday games because I have other obligations in my life other than my work. It's tough. Like some Friday games I can't get to and do a post game show. Some Saturday games I can't get to do a post game show. But every other game, Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, I can usually get a post game show up pretty soon after the conclusion of the game. But if you're wondering why this video is so late, that is why. And if you're wondering why I might sound tired or, I might be might not be as sharp in this video, that's probably it too. So, please afford me some grace here as I try to get everything done. I think I'll be better at this once I get a few years under my belt of doing both. But yeah, it gets difficult sometimes. So, I just want to be transparent. You know what I mean? Because some of y'all might have been waiting for this video, or some of y'all might be like, why is this so inconsistent sometimes? I pride myself on my consistency with my content strategies. I don't like being inconsistent. So the Cavs played the LA Lake Clippers today. It's the first day of a back-to-back, which is interesting because this Cavs roster has a lot of injuries, right? Max Strus out. Darius Garland's been in and out the lineup, managing that injury. And then Jared Allen was out today because of injury, and then Sam Merrill's been out too because of injury. So, they've had a lot of flex in their lineup. Today, they had pretty much everybody that could have been available that wasn't out, except for like Lonzo Ball, who does not play on back-to-backs. He played Toronto on Monday, tomorrow. So it makes sense that you will want Lonzo available for then because you're probably not going to have Darius available on Monday. That being the case, since you're not going to have Darius available Monday, but you will have Lonzo, it's going to be tough, but we'll see what they can do tomorrow. Now, the Clippers did have Kawhi Leonard. I think that is worth noting. I know the Clippers have a terrible record. They're like 5-12. They did have Kawhi Leonard. So, this is a different version of that Clippers team. Still a very flawed team at the end of the day. But did have Kawhi. Kawhi gave him 26 minutes, 20 points in 26 minutes. It's crazy for how much time Kawhi misses, how, consistent his numbers are. I think I think Brad was bringing that up in the broadcast. 3 of 5 from three, about 60% from three. Zubac, he did his thing. He usually does against us. We don't have to wait to really push back on Zubac the way that you want to. 33 points, 15 of 22, 18 rebounds, 4 assists. So, look, the Cavs are just going to have this as an issue. Like, I'm over debating whether this is going to be an issue for them when it comes to bigger centers. It just is a natural issue that they're going to have with the makeup of the team. And I hate when this is categorized as softness, right? Because when you categorize it as softness, one is inaccurate. Two is disrespectful, like to the human beings involved, because none of these guys are soft. Like, they're all tough guys, and they're probably much tougher than the people on the internet who sit in air-conditioned rooms talking shit from their fucking toilet on Twitter about who's tougher, who's not, right? You know what I mean? And also, just a word of advice, and this is how you can tell I'm tired, because my mind is going everywhere. Whenever you hear somebody tweet something, just keep in mind they probably said that shit on the toilet. And just think about how much advice you really trying to take from people who talking to you while they on the toilet. That helps me stay sane. Like, whenever somebody says something ridiculous and I want to argue with them, like we in the Pantheon in, was it Greek or the Rome or whatever the fuck we in, right? Whatever ancient society that is, we in the Pantheon debating ideas, shaping society, right? I gotta remember, I'm not in the Pantheon trying to shape democracy. I am on Twitter arguing with people while they post shit, while they take a shit. That's my rant of the day. But anyways, back to the whole point about softness, right? People will categorize it as softness. And I think that's wrong on so many levels, right? It's disrespectful, it's not accurate, and it's a misdiagnosis is the most important thing too, right? If this team generally like was soft and didn't play through injuries and, didn't want to have physical contact and all that stuff, like, then I would point out that that's the nature of their dysfunction. But that's not what's going on with the Cavs. The Cavs aren't not getting rebounds because they're not willing to get those rebounds. They're not having guys active because guys aren't willing to play through injury. That is absolutely the case. Like, guys are playing through injury all the time. Darius Garland played through turf toe 2 times. You know what I mean? Like, and we found out that turf toe was a very serious injury this year, right? It was so funny when Joe Burrow got the injury, everybody understood turf toe was serious. Darius Garland got the injury. Oh, he should play through it and just put a thing in it. Even though there's way more cutting in football than for a quarterback there's way more cutting in basketball than for a quarterback in football, right? Like, we understand the severity of the injury when it's somebody whose toughness you don't question, but all of a sudden Darius Garland get hurt, and then everybody got all these questions. He come back from injury early, risk hurting his toe again, play through it. Everybody question his toughness. The issue is not that Darius Garland is not tough. Darius Garland is tougher than most of you people talking shit, right? It's not that Jared Allen isn't tough. I know my man like Legos and Pokemon and build computers and shit, but he would probably beat your ass, right? And he's probably tougher than you. And you might laugh at the ideal of that, but I promise you it's true. Jared Allen have been through more physically than you have, more than likely. It's not that they're not tough. It's that they're outsized, right? It's that Zubac weighs way more than Jared Allen, right? And that matters when it comes to rebounding. That matters when it comes to physicality. It's weight. It's the most underestimated thing in all of sports, right? Even when I talk about football, people always underestimate weight. Like, it's not important. Weight matters, right? You could be tall, but if you ain't heavy, that's going to cause a different set of issues. And weight has a lot of effect on things in basketball, because we're talking about how high you could jump, your jumper, your jump velocity, start impacting your jump shot. Like, weight is such a underrated, like, if there's another analytics revolution in sports, it is going to be focusing on like player weights. I promise you that's going to be the case, because it's the most underrated thing in sports physiology, sports science, all of it. People underestimate it all the time. They see that Evan Mobley's 7 feet tall. They see that Jared Allen is 7 feet tall, and they ask themselves, why isn't he doing what Zubac is doing? But Zubac is 7 foot tall and almost 300 pounds. Jared Allen, maybe 250. Maybe two. They don't have accurate weights in the NBA. Maybe 250. By the way, no sports league captures accurate weights right now. Like the NFL, they've been saying Myles Garrett's 275 since his rookie year in the NFL. Myles Garrett's easily 315, like easily 315. But again, we weight is underestimated. We don't get good weight numbers, so people don't have a good idea of what 260 looks like versus 270. Also, weight can look very different on people, right? Like, I'm somebody who carries a lot of weight, like in my legs and my shoulder. So if I'm 230, 250, even sometimes 270, it's not going to look the same as somebody who carries a lot of weight in their stomach. You know what I mean? Like, some people are built to carry weight. Some people aren't built to carry weight. The Cavs just don't have a lot of guys who are that heavy. They have a lot of guys who are tall, a lot of guys who are long, and you will hope that means they can rebound, but they don't have a lot of guys who are heavy, right? And weight, when it comes to rebounding, matters. Why could Charles Barkley get all them rebounds at 6'5"? They called him the round mound of rebound. You put that one together. Right? But they called the brother the round mound of rebound. Why do you think he gets that nickname? It's weight, okay? It's weight. It's a big deal. Why was Shaquille O'Neal such a dominant force? Yeah, he was big, but yeah, he was tall, but he was big. That's why. Like, Shaq was huge, and he was a great athlete. That matters. And when we call the Cavs soft, I think what most people really mean is we can't do the stuff that heavier basketball teams can do. And I think the problem with the Cavs at times is that they can't do the heavy basketball team stuff, but they're also not a really great go out and run basketball team. So, like, teams can get them running and they struggle. And that's the big flaw with the Cavs roster construction, right? They're kind of caught in the middle of this island. They're not heavy enough to be a team that can just anchor in on defense, block a bunch of shots, get a ton of second chance opportunities with rebounds, and play that way. That's not the kind of basketball team they can be. They're not heavy enough to do that. But they're not a light enough and an athletic enough team to be able to run pace into the ground. Like, they run pace pretty well and they rebound okay, but they're in this in-between area. They're not really fully committed to being one thing or the other. They're just a tweener, and it's awkward to watch because when you see the Cavs play against teams that are heavier than them, they get out-rebounded pretty badly. When you see the Cavs play teams that are much lighter than them, they get outran pretty badly. So they got to figure out a way or whatever it is they can anchor their game down into, that when they do go up against a team that does have a specialization like that, that they don't get lost, that their style doesn't get lost. Like, they got to find their identity again with who they are and really, really just commit to it, because they are a tweener team. That's just what it is, and that's what the roster construction is. They're always going to be out-rebounded. Well, they even get out rebounded tonight, to be fair. Like, they got 41 rebounds, the Clippers got 40. But they're always going to have a tough time against a Zubac, right? Because they don't have a body to really throw at him that can deliver the strength and the weight needed to hold him back from the boards. Evan Mobley's thin. Jared Allen, he's not the tallest and he's not the biggest. Like, he's a tweener. He's a strong center. He's on the stronger side, but he's not a big center, right? We saw this early in his career when he was trying to defend Joel Embiid. So that's the issue the Cavs are going to have, and they got to figure out, and that's going to be up to Kobe Altman to figure out, right? Do you just commit to being a running team? Do you commit to being a heavy team? Or do you find some kind of alternate identity that you can commit to while keeping the same pieces? You know, that's ultimately going to be a big thing for them, because right now, it feels like they got to pick a side. Like, okay, like I think that's why there's a lot of energy to trade Jared Allen, because you want them to commit to being one thing or the other. And if you trade Jared Allen, all of a sudden now it's Evan Mobley. You could become much lighter, more athletic, and run more. And yeah, you're still going to get out rebounded, but maybe you can outpace those teams now much easier. Like, they got to figure out how they're going to make this work when they go up against teams that can just attack a big flaw of theirs and the way they're built. And they don't really have that yet, and that's been their biggest Achilles heel. But today they were fine, right? The Cavs shot well from three, 38% from three. DeAndre Hunter's three-point shots was dropping today. Who else? Donovan Mitchell was hooping, 37 points, 14 to 22. Donovan Mitchell continues to look like an MVP candidate. I mean, the way that he's just dropping 30 plus every night, like, it's kind of crazy. Like, I said he just had 37 points like it wasn't shit. I was like, yeah, he had 37, 8, 6, 2 turnovers, a steal. Donovan was all right. 6 rebounds. Yeah, he was cool. Plus 26. You know what I mean? Like, I'm out here just like, Donovan had a good game. Like, he didn't just almost drop fucking 40. But that's just the standard that Donovan's been playing at, right? Like, he's been so good that it's hard not to take it for granted. Evan Mobley, I thought, had a nice night. He's really finding some confidence being aggressive, attacking the rim. And look, I think if you're the Cavs, some weeks you're going to tell Evan, work on this. And he's going to be really good at it. We're going to be like, oh, Evan's figured out something. And then some weeks we're like, all right, Evan, we like that you could do that. Work on that. And he's going to be ass at whatever they ask him to work on. We're going to be nervous, right? Just constantly cycling through things that you want him to work on. It's clear that the last couple of games, they've been saying, Evan, attack the basket, be aggressive, be a putback guy, all of that stuff. Evan's been doing that. Darius Garland working back. Not a great game from him. 3 of 10 from the floor, but really facilitated really well. Jalen Tyson, not the greatest game for him either, but I thought he was solid out there. The last guy, I thought Luke Travers actually played well today. He like cashed a 3. That shit was nasty. He cashed a nasty 3 earlier in the game. But I was shocked he was out there. But then back to back, you're going to play everybody at that point. Tyrese Proctor, I keep saying this and I'll keep saying this. He's got good bones. He's going to be a good player. He just needs to get a little stronger, a little bit heavier, because some of the stuff he wants to do, you can see it's there. It's clean in, out, all the stuff there. His feet clean. It's just he ain't got the strength to finish the way that he wants to finish. Got good bones. He's going to be a good player, good role player for you. Just gotta let that one. Got to let that one cook in the oven. You know what I mean? Got to let that one sit, grow, get some muscles. He going to be all right. But he show you he got good bones. He be putting up buckets sometimes when he out there. 11 points today, 3 of 7 from the floor, 2 3-pointers. He can shoot. He can shoot for sure. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't got to wait for that one to develop. I'm just saying, like, when you see him try to attack the rim, get some buckets every once in a while, that's where you see the good bones in his game, because he has some nice stuff that he can get to. It's just he ain't strong enough to get to it yet. Another player I want to talk about that like makes me rave about the development on this team is Naquin Tomlin. And he's like high key my favorite thing to watch right now, because what you're watching is a guy just like figuring it out in the NBA. And what I mean by figuring it out is this. Naquin Tomlin is a bucket getter in the G League, and he's a bucket getter in any basketball court he steps into that's not a part of the association, and he's been that his whole life. But he wants to get minutes on a good Cavs team. This Cavs team, we're talking about trying to win a championship, right? Like, it's a good team. And there's no room for him to be a bucket getter, right? And most importantly, at the NBA level, he might not be a bucket getter. Like his three ain't dropping. Has he made a three yet? He made 1 3. He finally made that three. He been shooting threes all month. He ain't been having one drop. But nonetheless, Naquin Tomlin, who is a hooper, right? A scorer at every level of basketball. Let me look up his G League stats. But at every level of basketball, he's been a scorer, right? We pull up his G League stats. My man was averaging 20 in the G League, 20 and 8 in the G, right? What was he shooting from three? 33% from three, right? He was taking how many shots? At 15 shots a game in the G last year, right? That's what Naquin is. He's a hooper. He's a scorer. That's what he's been. But he's not that in the NBA. Maybe it's because he's not going to get the opportunity with the guys that the Cavs have on the team. Maybe it's because he can't score at that rate in the NBA. Either way, it don't matter. The Cavs don't need you to be a bucket getter. They got Donovan Mitchell. They got DeAndre Hunter. They got enough dudes who going to take up shots who are 6'7" on this team, right? They got, Lonzo Ball. They got Larry Nance. Like, we don't need you to do that. But what the Cavs do need is a maniac. What the Cavs do need is a Bobby Portis, right? And when I say a Bobby Portis, maybe this reference goes over people's heads because it's like really a reference to like 2021 playoff basketball. But a Bobby Portis is just somebody who can come off your bench, get a couple rebounds. Maybe if the team ain't really having that much juice, start some shit, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't got to fight nobody, but get a real tough rebound and start a little bit of an altercation, right? You ain't got to get attacked. You ain't got to get attacked, but get the people going. You know what I mean? Like, underrated skill. Come in there, get some rebounds, talk some shit, take a rebound, maybe push somebody to the ground a little bit hard, not too hard, but a little hard. Make a three, make the cold crowd go wild, everybody hyped up. It's like having a Bobby Portis on your roster can make a 5-0 run feel like a 50-0 run in the playoffs. And like, you might think I'm joking because there is a comedic tone to this, no doubt about it. But I'm dead serious. You get you a dude who can do that, it's going to be interesting. And that's what he's developing into. Naquin get out there, he don't give a fuck about nothing, man. It's so great to watch. He be out there just rebounding, he don't care. He's talking shit to Kevin Durant. I was like, okay. All right, Naquin might be our maniac. We've been needing a maniac, right? Every time you see Kendrick Perkins ass on television, hey, where they enforcer? They need an enforcer. All right, let's get an enforcer. Okay, Naquin Tomlin, go out and beat Kendrick Perkins' ass. That's what we might need. Dead serious. But I'm not serious. I don't want Perk to get beat up. But yeah, that's what Naquin, the kind of energy he's brought, right? Back to back, come in there, get some rebounds, use some long ass limbs to tip the ball, be a pest defensively. He's the one guy on the team that clapping people ear, and we need more clapping ear energy, right? Like, that's something that this team needs. Need to be a little bit more pesty, need to be a little bit more annoying. I understand we are respectable guys and we're not trying to be unethical, but have a little edge, right? Everybody got that one friend. You know what I mean? Like, even nerds, right? People who grow up building computers. I like building computers, right? But I always had a friend that was kind of crazy. Naquin Tomlin, that's who you could be, right? Jared Allen liked to build them computers. He liked to catch them Pokemon. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And you, the homeboy, walking with him, if somebody talk crazy to Jared Allen, you dealing with Naquin. That's what we need Naquin to be. We just need a maniac. But in all seriousness, I see, like, I did a whole thing at the beginning of this video talking about I'm going to be tired. I'm not going to have no energy. I think I had pretty good energy. But y'all let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Cavs beat the Clippers 105-120. Might not be my most focused post-game show ever, but I thought it was a good one. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Y'all have a great day. Peace.